Hey there, everybody. This is Maddie Cross here on After Hours Radio with the gorgeous and sexy Lieutenant Bella Lexi. She is absolutely gorgeous, you guys. Wow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for joining us this evening.
Absolutely.
So, um, so you like to be called Bella, right?
Yeah, that works.
That works for you. Okay. So can you give me just a little bit of background, like what got you into OnlyFans? What made you start wanting to play and have fun on OnlyFans?
So kind of was just a thing. It kind of been in the news for COVID, and we had some free time during COVID, my husband and I, and he's like, hey, maybe we should put some pictures out here or whatever. And so initially I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever, I don't care. Just don't show my face. At some point he started showing my face. I trusted him, right? I'm busy running a team and running a facility and things like that. So didn't really think much of it. And it had been going on for 2 years. And a former friend of mine found out about it and decided to report me to my police department that I was working for at the time. And so they started an investigation, and it ended up 3 months later that I ended up retiring early and taking a severance package.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, so now how long had you been on? You'd been on OnlyFans for about 2 years before anything?
Yeah, it had been about 2 years. And it was kind of one of those things. My husband's like, wow, there's like 400 people following. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Because as a cop, like I wear men's clothes to work every day, and I have like a very not feminine job. And so you lose that piece of yourself. So then to find out that people are like, oh, wow, she's really pretty or whatever, once he started to show my face, I was like, wait a minute, like really? So it was flattering, it was exciting, but I never thought that people in my own neighborhood would find out about it, essentially.
Yeah. I know what you mean there, definitely. Are you guys like in the lifestyle or anything, or is this just like a play thing that you do?
It's a play thing that we do. Always pictures and videos have kind of been a thing that we've always done since we started dating. We've looked at the lifestyle. It's not really something that fits what we're interested in. Certainly not judging. Plenty of great people in the lifestyle. We know a lot of them. It's just not kind of our jam. And so like as things went on, it seemed like mainstream adult films would be like the next stop, right? Like, this is my career. This is what I put out there. And so we had decided that, the lifestyle wasn't a fit or whatever, but we decided that mainstream might be something that we would want to get into. So reached out, found an agent. And so now I've crossed over into the
mainstream world.
Yes.
Okay. So have you shot with studios?
I've done a couple. In fact, I think my score group work is what got me discovered by y'all. So I've done a couple different studios, have a couple more coming up. I took some time off to do some personal construction on myself. I mean, I'm 47. So took advantage of taking some time off and doing some self-improvement on myself. And then, I should be back to shooting here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, I was going to say, you don't look like you needed much improvement, if anything at all.
Oh,
I have to say.
It's kind of one of those things, I've had some kids and whatever. So, a little tuck here and a little whatever, just to feel more confident,
Right, definitely.
But thank you very much.
Yeah, so we've got something in common. We're score sisters.
Oh, well, how about that?
Nice.
It was a really great experience. In fact, I have had no negative experiences since I've embarked on this part of my journey.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody I've come across too, they have been absolutely wonderful and great to work with. I just can't get over how easy they are to work with and everything, and especially the score people.
Yeah.
They are just awesome.
I know to have your hair and makeup done the whole day, you're like, really? You're gonna stay here? It was very much a treat for me.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you say there. Um, yeah, well, it's like here I am. I'm up on a horse ranch in North Dakota, you know.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like you. I've got that double-edged thing going on to where I live this life and then I live this life,
Great.
So
Yeah.
and it's fun, it's
Yes.
definitely fun. Um, is there any male talent that you kind of had your eye on that you thought, God, I'd love to shoot with him?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head. It's not for my lack of watching porn, believe me. But I think I'm still kind of somewhat caught up in this whole I can't believe it's happening. I can't believe that it's for real.
Right.
If that makes any kind of sense. Like,
Oh
because
yeah.
I was a kid, 10 years ago, we'll say. And I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to do like a magazine or a video or whatever. And then, life happened and I started a career and I never did that. And so now it's kind of like I've had all this opportunity and it's like, oh wow, like and I watch these shows and I'm like, wow, that's like me. Like
Right.
these shows are like about people who do what I do. And it's just kind of
Right.
been a mind-blowing experience. So
Yeah. I mean, I still find it kind of surreal when I walk into an adult store and I see a magazine that I'm on. I'm like, whoa, it still floors me.
yeah,
It's crazy. Um, so no men that you have your eye on in particular. What about women?
I knew you were gonna ask me that next.
Hint, hint. No.
You, of course.
Good answer. No.
I'm sure we can make some really taste score group.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, like I just again, it's that whole like, and I always get asked this question. Now you think I'd be ready? You think I'd have like a list ready, but I don't. I don't know. The whole thing's really exciting. I have not done any girl stuff yet. It's all been the MILF kind of thing, and so I don't know a lot of these younger guys, right? Like because you tend to watch porn in your group, that you're interested in or whatever. And so I've met a lot of really great young dudes and they've been really awesome. But certainly I would have not known them by name. They all know who I am. And I'm like,
right. And it's kind of nice that they know who we are, because then they come seeking us out, so
yeah,
it kind of works out and so it can be fun, definitely.
yeah. And I get the whole, I can't believe I'm really having sex with a real cop. I'm like, well, I'm not really a cop anymore. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. But I do know how to use handcuffs, trust me.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, geez. So let's see, what else? Is there anything in particular, like when you go onto a set to go shoot, is there anything in particular, let's say you look at this guy and you're like, is there anything that kind of gets you going when you look at a fella that you're going to be shooting with, like something that attracts you to him or anything?
Oh, I am a teeth girl. Like if someone has amazing teeth, I'm okay. Like this is gonna work out for me. And arms, always arms. Like if they're muscular and vascular, then I'm like, okay, like all right, this is gonna work out just fine for me.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do you see yourself, let's say 5 years down the road in the industry? Where would you like to be?
Well, honestly, I would like to have my nonprofit up and running like completely. I've already started working now. I have a board of directors. We have some really great ideas on where we want to take it. And I can't really say too much about it because I want to kind of, when it's ready, I want to like deliver this beautiful package with a bow and be like, oh my God, this is going to be so great for sex workers.
Nice.
And I'm really excited about it. So I think it's going to be a really great opportunity. And then I think too, I just signed a book deal. So I am writing a book that'll come out in May. It's not my story yet, but it is a book I'm writing. I'm sure you're not old enough to remember Dr. Ruth, but
girl, I got 10 years on you. Yeah, I am old enough.
Maybe the only person I've talked to who knows who she was. But anyway, It's going to be like a relationship type book,
Okay.
kind of with the 2023 twist with
Right.
someone middle-aged, and then it'll turn into going out and talking, doing webinars, seminars, things like that. Definitely
Right.
something I want to do is do a class at Exotica. I went to my first Exotica this year, was super exciting. So overwhelming too. There's just so much to do, but I want to be able to maybe teach a class there and things like that. And then, I know that I won't be able to do porn forever. I'm not confused by that. I know that that time will run out, but I want to still be able to leave my mark on the industry
Right. Right.
and make a positive change for sex workers, because I think it's a very underserviced
Well,
profession.
and like with the nonprofit that you're getting started, that's something that even after you decide, hey, I'm not going to shoot anymore, you can still be there for the new people coming in and anybody that needs any kind of advice on what to do and how to do it and things like that,
How to
So
be safe about it, for sure.
yes.
I've also picked up a column that I'm going to start writing at the change of year for an adult magazine.
Oh, cool.
So I'm trying to find different ways to make my mark, not just
Okay.
with my naked body, but with my mind and my mouth, to,
Right. Right.
make that mark and make that change and give a voice to people who don't always have one.
So you'd mentioned that you had been to your first Exotica, which was at the Miami one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you heading to the New Jersey one?
I was going to, but then I ended up with some work coming up and I was like, wow, it is really cold there in October.
Not as cold as here.
Well, true story. But I was like, no, I don't know, maybe I should pick ones that are a little bit more warm.
Yeah, right.
Because Denver is plenty cold also in the winter, but I was like, well, and then when I had an opportunity to do some other work and stuff, I was like, okay, well, I'll do this. And then that also gives me time to work on my book and things like that too, because I kind of have to now meter out my time.
Right. Do
Yeah.
you plan on hitting the AVNs in Las Vegas since it's so close to you?
I do have it in my calendar. So yeah, I would love to go. So it's just a matter of making it all happen.
Well, I'll tell you, if you go, keep in touch with me and let me know.
Oh, are you gonna go?
I'm going. I am definitely going. I'm
Need a
like,
hot blonde date?
well, yeah, always. But yeah, I mean, I would love to meet you and if you can make it to the AVNs out in Vegas, I think it'd be really cool,
Yeah.
So I just went brain dead. I have another question for you. Let me think here. Okay, yes. Give me a rundown of everywhere that I can find you.
So I have my website, therealbellalexi.com.
Okay.
And it will take you to, because you know how everything gets taken and you can't have, like, of course, the same thing for everything. So if you go to therealbellalexi.com, it'll take you to my Twitter, my Instagram, my Pornhub. It has a link of all my news stories, which have links to hotmilfsfuck.com or Score Group or whoever I've shot for. And then if anyone out there is looking for me to come in or interested in doing some work with me, you can certainly email me there. And anything that I need to, I forward to my agents.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's really probably the best hub to find.
Do you mostly concentrate on just the professional shoots, or do you do a little bit of content trade too?
I do some content trade. I really haven't done a lot because like everything just kind of like happened really quick once I started professional, right? And then I went to Exotica, and then I took this time off for some cosmetic surgery, but definitely that is on the agenda for moving forward here into the end of the year and the start of next year for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's really amazing how things just snowball once Score drops a scene for you. I mean, they just go crazy.
Yes.
So I know where you're coming from on all this stuff coming at you.
It can be kind of overwhelming, right? You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it really, it's something else, definitely.
Yeah.
So with your background, like when you go onto a set, does does your background help you read people a little better?
I would say yes. And I think too, it allows me to be more comfortable in uncomfortable settings.
Right.
You know, I've had to walk into some settings where you're like, okay, well, how's this gonna go? And to kind of get the temperature and kind of read the room and then respond
Mhm.
and know what's appropriate for the environment or whatever. And so, and like I said, I've been so lucky, like, and we do use a lot of my former police experience in what I shoot.
Right.
I'm sure you're so surprised by that, um, but the nice thing is now I don't have to worry about case law. I don't have to worry about violating somebody's rights. This is a very different kind of atmosphere. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and so it does make it a lot more fun, but I am able to better fit in different situations, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else have I got here? God, I was going through looking at all your just, I love all your content that I've seen over on Twitter and
Yeah.
everything. And does, whenever you shoot, does your husband ever travel with you or anything, or do you do everything, you just go off and do your shoot with?
I do some stuff I go on my own because he is running his business also, but then he also travels with me, and I was like, babe, you should get in on this. Like, it's pretty fun and exciting. So he's actually working with my agent on, you know, picking up some things for himself. So, but he shoots some of my content, but most of my stuff I shoot myself. So anything that's on my OnlyFans, more often than not, even with content trade or whatever, it's like 3 phones and
Right.
lights and the whole, and I'll be like, okay, well, here's kind of what I'm looking for, you know, and can you accommodate this and can we make this happen? And so, yeah, but most everything I do, I shoot myself and then he helps me edit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see. So you've got the book deal. Tell us who you've got that you're going to be shooting with here in the future.
Well, I don't have any for sure's, but I can tell you that one starts with Brad and ends with hers. And I'm really excited. I talked about Exotica, and
I'm so envious. I've been trying to get in with them for so long. It's awful.
and it's gonna be girl stuff. I'm super excited.
Gotcha.
It's really hard for me doing content trade, especially in Colorado. Like, I'm in the middle of the US, which is like super hard to navigate that, to do content trade. And of course, everyone wants to see more of that. So, so I'm hoping I can expand on that.
Yeah.
Do some of that and whatever. But yeah, definitely interested in some girl stuff for sure.
So are you nervous with the book deal as far as getting started on it, or is there, you have somebody helping you?
I'm meeting with my publisher up in Toronto the first part of October. We're going to sit down and brainstorm the skeleton of the book, I guess you could say. So then once I know what each chapter is going to be, then I can go in and backfill with experience and stories and things like that. So I'm lucky I've had a very vast career when it comes to relationships and of my own, or helping people solve their relationship issues that maybe they can't navigate on their own. So I feel like I have a lot to offer. You know, or all my girlfriends who are experiencing online dating in their 40s, right? Like, that's a whole new experience.
Right.
So a lot of those kinds of things. And so I'm super excited to see where all that kind of filters out. But yeah, there's a part of me that's nervous, but I'm like, okay, well, it's just like writing a report, right? You have to get it done by this time. And, you know, I actually have someone who's going to edit for me. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, really. So do you think that it'll be tough going through and like possibly revisiting any tough times that you went through, or maybe opening up any old wounds or anything like that as you go through the writing process?
I think that it's a good thing I have a good therapist, which was one of the most important things I did for myself, going through the discovery of my page and then closing out my career, because there are demons and there are things that I wish maybe would have been different, or I could have seen coming or changed or whatever. But I think mental health care is so important.
Yeah.
And especially in what I used to do and what I do now. So that's I always tell people that's the most important thing you can do is take care of your spirit, because if you don't, you can't do anything else.
Well, and of course, having such a supportive partner, that makes a world of difference. It makes everything just so much easier.
Oh, I can't imagine if he wasn't supportive of this whole thing. Like, you know, but we always joke, we're really unbreakable. We have a very solid foundation, and going through the loss of a career,
Yeah.
you know, is very difficult. And then to do like a 180 to go from wearing layers and layers of clothes to wearing no clothes,
Right.
quite a difference, you know, but he's been there every step of the way, very supportive, encouraging. So in that aspect, I'm very lucky. And the fact that he understands that I need to go do telehealth therapy once a week, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can't argue that either. So,
You know,
yeah.
it's you definitely have to keep the balance for
Mhm.
sure, because otherwise it can really mess with you for sure.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely. But yeah, so I feel like I have more good than bad from my former career. And so for that, I'm very lucky also.
Mhm.
You know, there's like 2 or 3 things I didn't do in my career, and there are 2 or 3 things that I'm glad I didn't do in my career. So
Mhm. Mhm.
mine is delivering a baby. I always wanted to deliver a baby. I just always thought that'd be so cool to be like, oh, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. 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 Well, you know, that another thing that we kind of sort of have in common is I've been kind of putting a bug in my husband's ear too, trying to get him involved, you know.
Oh,
So
good.
far, he stays behind the scenes mostly. He shoots most of my content.
Okay.
But he's the same way. He goes, yeah, I'm not quite ready to get my face on cam yet and have
Great.
people see me yet. But
Mhm.
um, he's kind of sort of in the law enforcement area
Oh,
as well. So he's like,
oh,
just kind of
okay.
step back and I'll wait until I retire.
You're like, he's like, aren't you interviewing that cop girl who lost her job? Like, why don't you
So
ask
he,
her how that worked out for her?
so yeah, so he's like, yeah, I think I'll just hang here for a little bit until I retire.
Right,
I'm like,
right. Well,
okay, but but I'm like, I told him, I said, but here's the deal. You retire, buddy. You're working.
exactly. And it's not really, it's work, but it's fun work. Like,
It's
not at all like what he's doing now. So,
exactly. Yeah, definitely be a lot of fun.
yes. And you get to meet so many great people. That's the
Yeah,
other,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah.
so, yeah,
So do you miss being a cop at all?
not one bit. I always thought I would. I don't miss it. It had its time in my life.
Gotcha.
Lifelong goal, did it, made it. Um, but man, it's really nice to be responsible for me.
Mhm.
Like, you know, if I don't shoot content, I'm not, I don't have anything to post.
Right,
You
right,
know, being able to actually engage with people on my time and
right.
not being, okay, I got to go to the next call. I have to, whatever, you know, or,
Yeah.
you know, I love that I hear from people who are like, hey, I know you used to be a cop. Can you answer these questions? I love being able to still help in that
Mhm.
aspect, but I don't miss the guns, the knives, the
All of it.
threats, you know, I don't
Oh
miss
yeah.
that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, I hear
definitely.
sirens and I look. I think that'll never go away.
Right, yeah, it's just kind of
But,
second nature for you,
mhm,
definitely.
but yeah, I don't miss having to carry a gun all the time. I don't miss, you know, the
Yeah.
back pain or the snow or all of that. Like, so.
So what do you do in your downtime when you're not shooting content? What do you do to relax?
So I do some light working out, but mostly I golf. A huge golf fan. Love, love, love. Now I might not be the best, but I do go out there and I swing those clubs around. um, you know, and I just go to lunches with my friends, things that I never had time to do before. You know, when you're working 60 hours a week or you're working graveyards and you know, nobody's up in the middle of the night or whatever. So when you're going to lunch at 2 in the morning, like none of my friends are wanting to go to lunch, you know?
Right,
So
yeah.
I'm able to kind of reconnect with my friends from before and have that time. And
Mhm.
I'm able to drive my kids around and be more involved in their lives, which I don't know if they like that, to go from a little more hands off to, hey, what are you doing? I'll be there at whatever time.
Well, yeah, as we all know, that depends on their age, you know, once they hit those teen years, it's like, mom,
Yes,
dad, what?
I have two teenagers. That's what I call them.
Right, yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
know, so but I go to their sports and all of that kind of stuff. And so I feel like I'm able to, all the things I missed working all those hours, I'm now able to do those things. But yeah, golf, love massages, pedicures, all those things, you know, just to
Yeah,
pamper myself too, and
right,
shooting
right.
content because
Yeah.
it's super hot, even solo content.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it's like I edit all my own content.
Okay.
So I enjoy the shooting, but I think I have a lot more fun with the editing part and just seeing what I can do with the pictures and
Hmm.
stuff. So
For
yeah,
sure.
it's definitely a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
well, I hope I get to see you in Las Vegas,
Yes.
hopefully.
Yes. I'll
But
shoot you a message. That'd be awesome.
yeah, most certainly. But I definitely want to thank you for joining me this evening and taking the time out of your afternoon to sit and talk with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the invitation. I'm glad you all found me. And yeah, we'll
Well,
have to see if we can figure something out.
yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on all of your activities and shenanigans
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be fun, definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
thank you. I appreciate it very much.
so, well, this is Maddie Cross with After Hours Radio, and we'd like to say a big, big thank you to Lieutenant Bella Lexi for joining us this evening.
Yes.
And everybody, be sure and check her out. She is absolutely gorgeous. And my God, the personality. She's awesome. Just love her.
Big, big.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
All right, you too.